If I had a dollar, give it to me. Help! If I had a dollar, give it to me. Help! If I had a dollar to spend for health care, I'd rather spend it on a baby or innocent person with some defect or illness not of their own responsibility, not some person with AIDS, says a healthcare official on national television. And this in the middle of an hour-long video of people dying on camera because they can't even afford the limited drugs available that might extend their lives. And I can't even remember what this official looked like because I reached in through the TV screen and ripped his fucking face in half. And I was diagnosed with AIDS recently, and this after the last few years of losing count of the friends and neighbors who've been dying slow, vicious, and unnecessary deaths because fags and dykes and junkies are expendable in this country. If you want to stop AIDS, shoot the queers, says the governor of Texas on the radio. And his press secretary later claims that the governor was only joking, didn't know the microphone was turned on. Besides, they didn't think it hurt his chance for re-elections anyways. And I wake up every morning, and I wake up every morning, and I wake up every morning in this killing machine called America, and I'm carrying this rage like a blood-filled egg. And there's a thin line between the inside and the outside. A thin line between thought and action, and that line is simply made up of blood and muscle and bone. And I'm waking up more and more from daydreams of tipping Amazonian blow darts and infected blood and spitting them at the exposed necklines of certain politicians or government healthcare officials, or those thinly disguised walking swastikas that wear religious garments over their murderous intentions, or those rabid strangers praying against AIDS clinics in the nightly news suburbs. There's a thin line, a very thin line between the inside and the outside. And I've been looking all my life at the signs surrounding us in the media or on people's lips. The religious types outside St. Patrick's Cathedral, shouting at men and women in the gay parade. You won't be here next year. You'll get AIDS and die, ha-ha. And there is the USA where it's possible to murder a man and when brought to trial will only have to say that the victim was a queer. And they try to touch you and the courts will set you free. And an anti-violence bill, the difficulties that a bunch of Republican senators have in Albany with supporting an anti-violence bill that includes sexual orientation as a category of crime victims. There's a thin line, a very thin line. As each T cell disappears from my body, it's replaced by 10 pounds of pressure, 10 pounds of rage, 10 pounds of pressure, 10 pounds of rage. And I focus that rage into nonviolent resistance, but the focus is starting to slip. The focus is starting to slip. My hands are beginning to move independent of self-restraint. And the egg is starting to crack. America, America, America seems to understand and accept murder as a self-defense against those who would murder other people. And it's been murder on a daily basis for 8, 9, 10, 11, count them, 10 long years. And we're expected to quietly and politely pay taxes to support this public and social murder. And we're expected to quietly and politely make house in this windstorm murder. But I'd say there's certain politicians that had better increase the security forces. And there's religious leaders and healthcare officials that had better get bigger fucking dogs and higher fucking fences and more complex security alarms to their homes. And queer bashers better start doing their work from inside howitzer tanks because the thin line between the inside and the outside is beginning to erode. And at the moment I'm a 37-foot tall, 1,172-pound man inside this 6-foot body. And all I can feel is the pressure. All I can feel is the pressure and the need for release.